Good morning, everybody. It is February 5th here, Friday, almost 5 in the morning, and we're going to quickly talk about Ethereum here and Bitcoin and see how well the how the performance of the price action, how did it go with our analysis for the past couple of days, and to see how our risk management would have played out based on what we predicted to happen, right? So initially, right now, Ethereum is obviously at 1,660 region. We're stuck in this symmetrical wedge, right? Where basically your wedge is actually pointing sideways. So that's a pattern that you see a lot here with Ethereum and Bitcoin. They love doing that, is that this symmetrical wedge, right? And the reason why it's called a symmetrical wedge, because you have this pointing straight, to the side here, to the right. You have a rising wedge like this, and you also have a falling wedge like this, right? So typically, with a sideways, with a symmetrical wedge, if we are going into that wedge, right, from a recent uptrend, then the typical performance of this is for it to break above, outside of this wedge at the apex here, and then continue moving upwards almost the same height that we actually went in with. So if we're saying this is how we came in, then a break outside would be something like this, right? This is what you would aim for, somewhere around the $2,000 region. So now let's look at what happened recently, right? I think it's pretty significant the way this played out, and it was pretty profitable for the type of analysis we were thinking about, right? So with Bitcoin, if we start with Bitcoin here, when we had the breakout above this massive, a massive descending triangle we had for the last, for the last month, and then we had this breakout above, and we had that fall. And then this is what we said. We said, look, we're stuck in this range, obviously. And typically speaking, whenever you have some sort of a massive move and then you drop, for example, or you go up and then you get stuck somewhere and then you drop. So that's something like this. It does something like, where's my price action here? There we go. Right. So let's say we drop significantly, right? We do something like this. Then we start being stuck in this range for a bit, right? We hit it a couple times. And then that's when we're saying, okay, so we went here, and now what's going to happen? Is this going to continue like this? What's going to happen? We draw our lines. I know not all of you like all these slimes, but they do work. And we draw this. We clearly identify the range we're in, right? That's for visual, right? Because at the end of the day, it is price action, but also visual. Visual really helps a lot. So this is what happens, right? We're stuck in the range here, and then we're asking ourselves questions. Okay, so we identified, now we moved from a downward action to a sideways action in terms of the price. And now what's going to happen, right? We know for a fact from, typically from a technical standpoint, any break above or below this price action is going to literally propel your price towards that breakout. So now we're looking here, and we keep a very close eye on it. If it breaks anywhere outside of this, for example, if it goes here, we expect that it goes above. So it goes this way, boom, tries to retest again, and then flies back down, right? It flies back down. And usually, there's other ways here for you to enter this. It's either that you enter it breaks out, it retests, and then you enter, or as soon as it breaks out, any candle here on the 15-minute that breaks out and closes outside of it, you enter here and you put your stop loss right before this over here, and then you continue it with your short, and this will go the same thing for a break above. Now, because we know that we've been bullish on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's been showing those signs, Bitcoin did something like this where it continues to go up, then it went outside of this, then boom, then continued, right? And this is what we were betting on based on the analysis, based on what we thought will actually happen. And this is what actually happened with Bitcoin here. So let me just take off all of this. This is what happened with Bitcoin. Clear downtrend, clear sideways action and range. And we're looking here. We were even looking at this side over here when we came to touch this. And then we even drew this line. We said, okay, well, because we had a break above on a macro scale. We broke all the way above and came down to retest, right? That's how it is even with a triangle, with a descending triangle break above. We just go up, we come down to retest the same levels and then go shoot right back up. And that's exactly what happened. Pretty textbook. So we got stuck in this range, and then we're looking at the 2-hour. We're seeing that we went down. We saw, a nice break above, not break above, but we're below the 100 and 200 EMA on the 2-hour chart. And we were seeing that Bitcoin was making higher highs. So we drew this line over here, connected it from here to here, and then we extended it a bit. And then we saw that Bitcoin actually still found that support again here. And that support in terms of the trend lines, and also the support that we are now above the 100 and 200 EMA clearly. And then right away here, this is where I entered. I entered the 2-hour chart, right? But if you were, just because I'm at work and I don't really look much at it, I just put my trades and then put my alarms. But basically, we saw this range, we drew it. We saw on the 1 hour he broke all the way above here. And then literally you enter this trade at the breakout. You enter at the breakout and you actually enter at the close. And then you enter at the close, put it right here. You put your stop loss literally right below. You give it some space to breathe, right? Somewhere here maybe, the previous candle. Boom. And then you just write it out. And then in this case, I think that was like almost sort of like 7%, right? 8.5%, right? And that's a pretty good, nice swing trade. A couple of days you made 8%. That's pretty good. So that's what happened with Bitcoin, and we're clear about it. And Ethereum was following suit, right? Ethereum did the same exact thing, but it was more of a break above these all-time highs we were looking at, right? So same thing over here, where we're looking at a symmetrical wedge. So if I show you on the 15-minute, something like this, we were stuck in this, and what we said was, okay, so if we're going up, we go all the way up, and then we started going in this symmetrical wedge pointing to the side. Typically, if we break above over here, then maybe somewhere over here, to be sure 100%, so somewhere around the 1447, then that's where majority of the people are going to enter. So that's what happened. We saw that the price, as soon as we had a break above this triangle, you see how it just propels it right away, because everybody's looking at the same exact pattern. That's 5%. We broke above now. It made us actually break all-time highs, right? Broke all-time highs, went down to retest again. So this was the major move, right? This was the actual major move, because you broke all this, come back down to retest, and then shoot right back up. That's on the 15-minute. And now we're stuck also in the same kind of pattern right now. We went all the way above. Now we're stuck in a sideways wedge, and this is what we drew right now. I don't want to extend this video too much. I know it's in the morning, but and if you're interested in just learning the way we think about things here, man, I think it can be really profitable. So same thing here now. We're like, okay, so for assessing this, we came into it, right? Now we're in a sideways wedge, very typical. We see that on the higher scale. We see it on a smaller scale. We see it everywhere. We see these things everywhere, right? That's what you need to keep in mind. So let me just put on auto. So this is where we're sitting at, right? So we're saying that any break above the 1,677, any break below the 1,590, so 1,600 will propel that price to the same area. So right now, looks like we might have another leg down. I think we might come back down here to retest the 1,621. But because right now Ethereum is actually hovering above at this level, somewhere at this level, meaning that and just looking at our technicals here, if I go to the 2-hour, the 2-hour is showing us signs that the momentum is reversing, specifically here because we reached this, like we're supposed to actually get rejected somewhere around here. If we're thinking about it, you're supposed to get rejected somewhere around here, but we're reaching the same peak from the previous one, meaning that we actually have enough strength to most likely right now actually break above this level. So very critical right now for Ethereum. I think any break above the 1,679 will actually push us all the way up. Volume is looking pretty low. And if we go to Bitcoin right now, because Bitcoin is obviously going to dictate everything, same thing over here with Bitcoin. Look, we actually did reach the previous high we formed, right? And now we're actually trying to see, are the buyers have enough power to push us through this still? And I'm seeing that we actually do right now at the 2 hour. Look, and we actually pushed all the way above, and then the next candle they drove us down, almost 60% or 65% of the previous pump we had. And right after that we had a nice, like it's not an engulfing candle, but it's more like we drove the price. We closed this big time. We closed this gap we formed big time. So right now looks like we are getting rejected. Obviously, we're seeing that if Bitcoin doesn't actually move past this right now, so past the 37,817, then we are expected, I would think, that we go all the way back down to the 36,724. So if and I think that's what the most likely scenario is, unless buyers come in and really start shooting up. So very critical. Even if we break below this level over here, even if we break outside of this triangle, the 37,158, I think if we go down here, we are still very bullish on Bitcoin, because we're gonna find support at this line we're gonna draw here, and then we're gonna end up having somewhere where it's an ascending triangle again, right? It's an ascending triangle like this. Then we get stuck somewhere here, then an explosion happens, right? So keep that in mind. Let me know what you think. I hope you liked the video, and yeah, please comment if you see anything that I missed here. And did I say, yeah, so same thing with Ethereum. Okay, perfect. Thank you for watching.